Well, it is the third Monday of the month, so I promised to give you a talk. What is Ryushin Sensei going to talk about? Hmm, that would probably be a good idea. Good suggestion, Seidō. Well, yesterday, Claire Sangha um, had a presence at the Pride Festival in Baltimore, and we got a booth, and a bunch of us were there volunteering, and it was a really lovely day. And it was interesting during the day, we did have some people come by, and a lot of them were interested in the buttons we had, and we gave away our buttons and stickers. And we had some information about the Sangha and Zen, and we had a little, cushion set up, so we took some shifts, like sitting in Zazen. And it was interesting to notice what people were asking, and also to notice what answers were given. We got questions like, "So what is this?" And "Who are you?" and "What do you guys do?" And there were some people who had maybe some experience with meditation of some sort, and there's a little story maybe they told us, like, "Oh, well, I used to do this," or "I like the idea, but I don't, I'm not in the place I can do that." One person said they were just too messed up to do it. I said, "That's perfect. It's the best place to be to start practicing." That didn't work. They just kind of walked away. um, and some of the answers were, "Oh, we meditate, or we meet this number of times a week, or we practice being calm." And it struck me that when I was asked questions about who we are and what we do and what Zazen is, for a while I was sitting on the cushion, and that was the best explanation I gave all day. But nobody seemed interested in that. They wanted words. So it was really funny, and just so like us humans. It was right there. Remember, Fudo was on the cushion and said, "This is it. This is the whole thing right here." And whomever he said that to kind of it didn't register. But there is no explanation, really. It's a funny thing about words. They're arrogant. They think they can stand in for experience, for practice. On the other hand, words can be really important. I was talking with Muso about this. We're sitting and talking about it, and all of us here right now at some point probably read or heard some words about Zen and thought, I like that, or that makes sense to me, or hmm, I don't want that to be true, but that seems to be true. And that helped us to find the practice. So there's no explanation, and yet we have to often say something, or we're asked to say something. about practice, about what this is. And it's hard not to lie. It's hard not to sell. Well, what's this going to do for me? I mean, the real answer is, I don't know. Maybe a slightly honest answer is it's going to hurt your knees, or it's going to be frustrating, or um, it'll help you to live your life when you don't think you can do it anymore, maybe, or it'll be boring. And it's hard when you've connected with practice and you've made it a part of your life and it's made a difference for you. Not to, we want other people to have that experience and to connect as well. But it's a conundrum because we can't convince anybody. We shouldn't be convincing anybody to try it. If they're not motivated to do it on their own, if they don't want to do it on their own, if there's not a sense of having to do it on their own, then even if we convince them, you know, it's not really going to take. Or it'll be about something that maybe isn't um, vital to them. And if we don't say anything, and we don't talk about it, and we don't make it known that Zen and Zen practice exists, then how will people know? Very grateful in my life of people who even just mentioned that Buddhism existed, that Zen existed. I wouldn't know about it otherwise. Maybe you've experienced a similar dilemma in your life. People ask you, oh, why do you practice? Or what does it do for you? Or why are you going on that 4-day retreat, or have a good retreat, or whatever? How was it? You might not know. Finding that balance between being honest, answering the question. You can also get into a problem where you're trying to be too zen-y. Somebody will ask you a question and you know, so what is Zazen? It's 3 pounds of flax. Imagine saying that to just a random person. You're like, okay, like that's not an appropriate answer. Sometimes, even if it's a person who's familiar with Zen, I've made the mistake of giving an answer that was too zen-y and I really hurt them. And thankfully, I was given an opportunity to atone for that. So words are hard. And what I'm grateful for is to see everybody here this morning practicing with me. And I think the best thing I could do and the best thing I could say is I hope that you'll continue to practice. I hope it's in your heart to continue to practice. Not because it's like the right thing to do or a good thing to do or consistent with your sense of who you are as a Zen student, but that it really just has become a part of your life. I think if you're genuine in your practice, then whenever you're asked about Zen, whether you give a good answer or a bad answer or no answer at all, how you show up in that moment and how you show up in the world, even the fact that you might entertain an impossible question like that, and the way you do it will probably give a better answer than any words you could possibly use. So I think the most important thing that any of us said yesterday was said before we said anything. And I think that's probably also true in your lives when people are wondering what Zen is. You're showing them all the time. In fact, you never shut up about it.